Am I the butthole for buying my friend's childhood home? I've got a friend, Kay, that I've known since we were 5 and now we're in our mid-30s. We used to be close, but after university he moved to the US for work, so we only talk occasionally. In fact, I see his parents more often than I see him, because pre-pandemic his dad would get the same train as me into London and sometimes we'd sit together. Anyway, me and my wife have a kid and would like one more at least, so we're looking to buy a house. We currently live in a 2-bedroom flat and it's getting small. We were looking at listings online when I came across my friend's childhood home. Turns out his parents were looking to downsize and were selling their house. Honestly, it was perfect for us: 5 bedrooms, garden space, close to the station. They'd even had a special line laid into their house for super high-speed internet, something like 5 to 10 gigabytes per second down. Seeing this, I phoned up my friend's dad and asked him about the house. He was very open to the idea of selling to me, and even said he was glad it was staying in the family. Our families are all so close. We dealt with each other directly, without an estate agent, and therefore he was able to give me a nice discount. All that was in October, but my friend Kay has been livid ever since. He keeps saying how I'd bought his childhood and I was taking advantage of his parents by having paid them less. His sister, on the other hand, was happy for me, and on lieu of a housewarming party sent my family a framed picture of our 2 families from when we were about 10 or so. While I didn't do anything wrong legally, I feel I may have stepped on Kay's toes by now living in a place where he grew up. NTA. As someone whose dad is about to put my childhood home on the market, I would love if one of my friends could buy it. It's getting sold regardless. The price that you and friend's father agreed upon must be fair, or else I doubt he would have sold. You'd think it would be a bonus that friend could still visit his childhood home. If you have the ability to go there one last time before it sells, I recommend trying the Marie Kondo method of saying goodbye to stuff. When my parents were selling my childhood home, we had to downsize a ton of childhood memorabilia, and her method of thanking things was helpful. It felt crazy at first but freeing. When I spent my last day there, I went around and touched all my favorite places in the house and thanked them for the memories I made there. Saying goodbye to a childhood home can be a bit of a grieving process. Edit. Whoa, thank you for the awards. Never had such a big response to a Reddit comment. THX for this tip: always have problems to sell/throw stuff away. I think I will try this one. I'm a super nostalgic pack rat, and once I started thanking my once beloved items it got a lot easier to get rid of them. Still sad, but there's closure now. Thank you hockey stick I used to defend myself from my much bigger brother. Thank you upstairs bathroom door for being the only door able to lock my big brother out. Also, FU wire coat hangers for helping him MacGyver his way in. Bro, my older brother number 2 used to beat older brother number 3, brothers fighting and stuff. They're close now, and one time I remember chilling with older brother number 3 on the bathroom while parents weren't home because he was hiding from older brother number 2, and an older brother number 2 broke the effing door to get inside, laughing my butt off. Then he installed a latch thing to fix it so our parents wouldn't be as mad, laughing out loud. We still use the large thing to this day to lock it. Honestly, having permission to keep items that are sentimental while being encouraged to get rid of items that are still good or were a gift so I should keep them was hugely helpful for me, as a fellow nostalgic pack rat and someone whose grandmother trained her in, if it's still good, don't get rid of it. What if you need it? There's only been one piece of clothing where I wanted to wear it after I'd given it away, and I can't even remember what it is now. No regrets about anything else, and even that item I don't regret giving away, even stuff that held some sentimental value. I struggle with this, too. So many things that I have this, probably unrealistic, fear that the person who gave an item to me will find out I don't have it and will hold a grudge against me forever. And yet I realize that once I get rid of something, I pretty much just forget about it and don't think about it. I hadn't really thought about it before, but knowing that I've been fine without all the stuff I've already ditched, I'll be fine without a lot more, I'm sure. I definitely have a strong what if I need it? I don't want to have to go buy another mentality, though. Does anyone else struggle with people giving them too much stuff? Like, I have acquaintances who give me and my mom clothes, shoes, purses, blankets, towels, etc. Might be that the wealthier friends think they're doing us favors, but I always feel like I've more stuff I should probably not keep, but I will keep for several months/years until I've decided I definitely don't want/need it. My solution for this: space permitting, is to have a bag/box/shelf/whatever for phasing out clothes. This is where I put clothes that I'm not ready to part with but know that I don't really wear. If I still haven't worn those clothes a year or however long later, I know I'm ready to toss them. Often when I return to that box I'm like, oh, I forgot I had this, I have no more attachment to it at all. I was like this too, but I changed my mindset to think how unfair it was that I was not using an item when someone else would. It also helps to take photos of things before giving them away. That way you have access to the memory without the object taking up physical space. I'm horrible at getting rid of most stuff. I think I attach myself to old things more than actual people laughing out loud. I saw this picture idea many years ago on one of the TV shows where they clean out people's spaces and redecorate. It helped me get rid of a lot of stuff. Because what we really want is the connection to the memories and the people, and the photo does that. Not everything, of course, I still have too much stuff, but it helped. I used to have a really hard time getting rid of stuff. The thing that worked for me is taking a picture of it. It's much easier/less stressful to be a digital pack rat instead. I do something similar. I struggled moving on from some of my stuffed animals or childhood toys due to the memories attached. What helped me was doing little illustrations of them. That way I can give them to someone else but keep a little reminder of what they meant to me as well as the personalities that they had and not feel as guilty moving on. Thanks for the joy. Throws used condom in the trash. Me too. My mom grew up pretty poor. She had a weird thing about getting rid of clothes, because they had so few you either made your own or kept whatever you could. She even had her prom dresses handmade by a family friend. I've developed the same tendencies. I have a million jackets and sweaters. Even if they're ratty or too small, it always feels wrong to get rid of my stuff. I think I'll try to thank my things for being around and useful for so long and try to get rid of some of those things. I recommend trying the Marie Kondo method of saying goodbye to stuff. I thought it sounded crazy when I heard it, but it really works. I always had trouble throwing stuff away because I would fear I would regret it, but with this method it just goes very naturally. My parents still live in my childhood home, but we won't, it's a rental, so when the moment comes to say goodbye, I'll do it this way. It always shocks me how different people are. My mom asked me if I wanted to go through my childhood toys before she cleaned out the garage. I asked her to send me pictures so I could check if anything seemed to be worth money. After doing that I told her to throw it all away, not caring one bit. My kids are the same way. They have a playroom in the basement which they've outgrown and we transitioned it into an art room/remote school room. They bagged up 99% of all their toys with no issue, only keeping 1 or 2 items each. My wife will throw away almost anything with zero remorse, other than random baby stuff for my daughter, mainly because her family is filled with hoarders and she hates how they live. I've never cared about objects or places, or many people for that matter, lol. I think it comes from having experienced loss during childhood and wanting to keep items the person owned/was fond of/gave to you to remember them by. I'm no psychologist so don't quote me on it, but that's my theory on why some people are more sentimental than others. Yes, I think you're right. I lost my sister and it could have been an eraser for a pencil, but if it were hers, I was keeping it. Sometimes I think we also feel like they'd be upset if we got rid of something. I think my mom felt like that with her parents' belongings for a long time. She's a hoarder too and I refuse to end up the same way. I remember being a kid living in Indiana and being afraid of tornadoes. I was also the kid terrified at the thought of a house fire. Every time we had a bad storm, I'd be up in my room packing a bag of all my favorite possessions or what meant the most to me. The other night we had an issue with our electric and we were scared a fire might happen that night. I almost turned back into that little kid and started packing a bag. I always swore I'd be the one person prepared and not left without anything. I don't really know where that stems from, honestly. Can confirm, all my childhood stuff was left in the home my dad abandoned when I was living with my mom, also super traumatic childhood, so now I oversave stuff for my children. I had a tote with sheets of paper with one scribble my son drew on them. It was a little ridiculous. I've since gone through and purged the majority. He once had 3 totes and it's down to 1 now with a little room to save report cards and whatnot. My daughter has a tote half full. I've saved the outfits they were brought home in, growth charts from doctor's visits, sentimental gifts from family received when they were infants, a few drawings and some school projects. Neither of them may give two craps about it when they're adults, but I wanted them to have the option to look into their own little time capsules. As I've gotten older, I've made peace with all the stuff I lost. I'm still a little bummed out that my baby book is gone, but luckily a teddy bear my grandfather gave me is still in my possession. Yes, exactly this. Maybe the friend is angry that his parents are selling his childhood and is taking it out on the friend, but the advantage is now he can come visit the house when he wants to, because he knows the owner, rather than a stranger. It's a bonus, I think. If he is so mad, he should buy it himself. He might have been counting on inheriting it and selling it for himself one day. While I can understand why Kay feels a little weird about it, you are NTA. The nostalgia is no reason for you not to buy the house. Moreover, you didn't take advantage of his parents, since the discount you got was the money they now didn't have to pay to the middlemen. I don't know what Kay's problem is, but it's not you. This for sure. Realtors take a large chunk of money when you work with them. The original post and the friend's father working together essentially cut that cost out and was able to give the original post a discount. Sounds like a win-win for everyone. May have also been able to save some legal costs by already having an agreement and avoiding the negotiations / back and forth. Not to mention the time and stress involved in selling a house. Many times, it can be a months-long ordeal, and the added stress of having hundreds of thousands of dollars on the line take a toll. If you are financially stable and ready to retire, you may be willing to give up that last 5% of value in the house just to make the process hassle-free. The only worry I'd have here for the dad is that he may still be on the hook for a fee. Original post said he saw the listing online, so if an estate agent was involved, this may count as an introduction, and depending on the contract, it may mean their fees are due. I would imagine the nostalgia would make one even happier that original post is buying it. Because otherwise Kay wouldn't be able to visit the house again. This is such a weird reaction. I don't think the reaction is weird. Have you ever revisited a place you loved, only to find that it isn't how you remembered it? It can be a bit sad seeing that someone has literally wallpapered over some of your childhood memories. I think Op's friend is wrong for taking out his feelings on Op, but I do think it would be easier for him to let go if the home were sold to a stranger instead of someone he knows and might want to visit someday. Also, if Kay's parents had a 5-bed house in London that they'd been maintaining for years, we can safely assume they're sensible with money and probably wouldn't have given some crazy discount that equates to them being swindled. My assumption is Kay's annoyance is at either the situation or his parents, but it's easier for him to take it out on Op. NTA. I just closed on my house last month. We only paid our realtor's fee, but the charge between the buyer and seller realtors totaled around $14,000. Sounds like they both took advantage of the opportunity to save some coin. If they can handle it themselves and save that money, more power to them. I don't understand Kay's mindset. Didn't he know that his parents are selling the house? Because if original post will stop the transaction, or wouldn't even think about it in the first place, it will get sold anyway since Kay's parents are selling it, so Kay would be livid regardless. NTA. NTA, obviously. Friend needs to grow the F up. If he felt that strongly about the house, he should have bought it himself. Also, it's just a house, not his actual childhood. This right here. My parents called me at 7 p.m. on a Saturday to tell me they decided to put my childhood home on the market. I said great, I'll start financing on Monday morning and probably be able to offer by Tuesday. Sunday they called to tell me they got an offer $15,000 over asking and sold it. That quick. It bothered me a little, but I was happy for them. On that one, I do think your parents were a bit callous. Assuming that you were serious about buying your childhood home, they should have had the courtesy to tell you that they wanted to sell it to the other party before accepting it. I appreciate that it's their home to do with as they please, but it would have been decent of them. Nah. No hard feelings. They got a good offer and I drove a truck at night in a time before cell phones, so they had no way to contact me. They put the extra money to good use. That would have made it trickier. Wasn't inferring that there were any buttholes in your situation. Getting in touch with people now is far easier than it was. Lamau, that's scummy as F, to be honest. Oh wow. I can't believe they accepted an offer so fast, regardless of your interest. Seems like it was underpriced? Did they know you were serious? They knew. I was also well in my 40s, married with a house already. My sister was married and a homeowner. My brother is a minister whose home has always been supplied by the church. None of us needed the house. It went to a young family with small kids in a kid-friendly neighborhood, and 20 years later the place looks great. Always nice when it works out that way. Sometimes they just know they are selling it to the right people. You're a better person than me. I'd be pissed if I was prepared to buy my childhood home and they sold it before I could even put an offer in. That was crafty of your parents, honestly. Do we know if friend was given the opportunity to buy it himself? Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.